Alright everyone, welcome back to another video of Dimensionalist. I'm a Dimensionalist. Look, today's topic is going to be about how vampires are real. I'm reading from my notes to make the video more in-depth and detail. Okay, of course, vampires are real. Blood is the most multidimensional connector in the body, and the stomach's where you access the multidimensional body crossing the higher planes, because they can ascend into darkness for immortality instead of ascending into light for immortality. The opposite of love and light. Okay, a person can master the mind and not eat food and drink blood and be a vampire. This is how. They must be well studied in the dark arts, Satan, devils, sigils, occult. And, of course, this brings them to the more realistic standpoint from being real. Blood is the blood is the most potent multidimensional character in the body. Secondly, the multidimensional body has access to the stomach and ascension into light. The Kundalini lives off light and the body with no food. I know this because I've lived without, had a Kundalini risen in the body and not eat food. The same with vampires. The blood in the stomach without food, but only blood will allow higher states of consciousness. The only way to the superconscious is through the subconscious, and the only way to the subconscious control is the individual chemical change in the body's chemistry. So the vampire would have to have super and subconscious mind, and this would enable him to have super and subconscious mind. And he would use his mind and the astral plane to interface. And at this point, the vampire would merge with his physical body, with his astral body and mental body. This creates a unity on the astral plane and the mental plane for the physical body to have its chakra centers aligned with the chakras on the astral plane interchanging there and the mental plane. At this point, the manifestation of psychic energy is instantaneous for the atomic physical structure to completely interchange on the astral plane and mental plane for its atomic structure to sustain life in its form without dying. Now, you explain to me how vampires aren't real, and I just explained that. Uh, uh, Multidimensional accessing, multidimensional body, fourth, fifth, sixth dimensions, and things like that, you can retain your physical vehicle. They have the elemental realm to draw from. They have devils and demons to anchor from, invoke, summon, dismiss, cast. Of course, their enemies would be light, love and light. I believe they still have feelings of love, of loving with what they want. They like what they like, and they need blood to sustain their body because they'll be eating no food. And I heard that a vampire would, in fact, have to have it receive it through another vampire. Uh, the the pact of blood and it given the blood by another vampire. Um, Things of that nature. I'm not a vampire, so I really don't know. I wish I was a vampire and bite into someone and stuff like that. But if I had to be a vampire, I would be well studied in the dark arts. I would know the occult really well. I'll have silver, gold symbols, seals, necklaces. I would dress gothic, of course, to represent something dark, and when people see me, they interpret as dark, so I can anchor that through them and their mental psyche, also on the mental plane, and I'll be able to descend into darkness and study. I'll study the Ordo Templi Orientis, Aleister Crowley's teachings, and become well versed with the devil's names, so I can, in fact, invoke, summon, cast devils if I was to be a vampire. So that's how I believe vampires are in fact real. I've had a guy say he's experienced vampires before, driving through Las Vegas and the desert, Nevada and things, and he said they tear you apart. He says, like, dude, there's no way to get away from them. They're out there in the desert where no, not much police forces is there. They come out at night. They live out in the night. You just like another person. I mean, you'll never know. They can hide their fangs. They can, they're basically masters of their mind. And psychic vampires. There's physical vampires, psychic vampires that can drain energy. Hand seals, and things of that nature. So remember, um, vampires are in fact real to this nature. And what I've said about interchanging on the astral and mental plane and if sustaining the physical vehicle and fasting, they've already showed the substantial proof of letting go of the physical plane to interchange there and retain their physical vehicle, in opposition and in comparison to the ascended masters fasting and releasing themselves for the first initiation of desires and physical wants. Other than that, everyone, I'm going to be making a second part of this video. Just remember, I just wanted to give my perception on how vampires could be real. There's more information out there y'all can check out. Just remember, I'm a dimensionalist. Peace.